Konnichiwa, and welcome to the Samurai Way, the podcast where we dive into the wisdom of the samurai, the art of Japanese living, and the philosophies that help us live with purpose and perseverance. I'm Lori Sagawa, and whether you're here to explore Bushido, uncover the meaning of Ikigai, or just looking for a little extra Ganbaru, never give up spirit in your daily life, you're in the right place. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's walk this path together. Are you ready? Let's begin. Konnichiwa, minasan, boker tov. My name is Lori Sagawa, and I am your host for this incredible podcast, thanks to you, the Samurai Way. Our guest today is Ido Kalev, and I will read his bio. Ido Kalev is a former senior commander in intelligence and aviation security with over 30 years, that's 30 years of international experience. From leading crisis operations in 6 countries to rebuilding lives after the trauma, Ido shares insights on resilience, leadership under pressure, and emotional intelligence. He's the author of The Spy Who Led Me. It's a memoir blending the field drama with emotional depth and information. So at this time, please help me welcome Ido Kalev.
Thank you, Lori.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure. And, it's our, I think, second time. It's our second time. And, it's an honor to be in your podcast, really.
Oh,
And I feel connected. So, and I think it was one of the first podcasts that I did. And it was my first time when I went out from the covert, from the shadow actually, to the world. So it was, I think, a few 6 or even more. It was long, yeah. So not too long, but again, so I'm very honored, and it's for me always a pleasure to talk to you. We have a
well,
lot of
great.
share uh, subjects and many aspects, and of course values. So happy to
Well,
be here.
actually, Ido, you're back by popular demand. You were very popular when you were one of the first podcast guests, and people loved what you spoke about, and they resonated. Most people don't know this type of information, so I'm really thankful and grateful that you're here sharing with you, because I love Israel, and I've loved it for a long time, ever since I've been about in high school, and then got
Mm.
connected to Israel through folk dancing and then through Sugihara and my book, and it goes from there. And now I have friends all over the world. So, Ido, what you're going to be talking about today is so interesting, and it's because you come from what should we call it, the school of hard knocks. You've been in the field, you know what you're talking about. You've been in, for over 30 years. So the first thing that we wanted to talk about, well, I'll just share this right now. When I was speaking to you, I said, this is the second day of Hanukkah, which makes it very interesting. And your podcast is going to air during Hanukkah. And do you want to just share a little bit about the connections between Bushido and Hanukah and the courage and
Oh,
that type of
yeah.
thing? Yes.
So, it's a very well connected subject. The samurai way, Hanukkah, and courage. They are shared values, and Hanukkah is it's actually an holiday that brings the courage and the traditions, which is very similar to the samurai way and the principles that I know also. So it shows that the Jewish people for thousands of years, and in this case, it was under the Greek Empire, saved the traditions, the Jewish traditions actually, with bravery, with courage, and determination. And it was against the depression that came from the Greek Empire to the Jewish people. And this is a very, very strong connection to the samurai principles, which are a few of them are courage, of course, faith.
Integrity.
Yeah, it's really it's a lot honesty.
Yes,
Uh,
honesty.
Yeah, honesty, consistency. It's actually most of the principles are there in the Jewish
Mm-hmm.
tradition, and it's really, really connected. I think that that's one of the main reasons that I'm really happy to be in the podcast because here in the Samurai, because we meet each other all the time with the values
Mm-hmm.
and the honesty and courage. It's something that there are things that you can learn, skills that you can learn, but there are things that you cannot learn them, or you have it or you don't. And courage is one of them. Fear, it's something that all of us have. you know I think people think that fear it's something that you should be ashamed of or not to say it, or but actually it's in all of us. It depends what you do with the fear, and
Yes.
comes the courage. If you take the fear to a path or a pattern that brings you to be more focused, and that's the courage comes with it. So the fear goes to a good direction, like in operations, for example. You are in fear, but you are giving the fear attention, and you are going with the fear to the focused area, not to the
Mm-hmm.
unfocused area. So the Jewish tradition, it's not only about the candles and the light, which is good, the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because it was a miracle. Most of the Hanukkah, most of the 8 days are not only the candles, it's mainly the bravery, courage, tradition, faith, and actually what we were talking about connected to the principles of the Bushido, of the samurai way, and this is
Well, there's a
we
lot
are
of
in the
connection.
second candle today. It's
Right.
the second
There's so many
candle.
connections, and I started
Oh, a lot.
discovering them when I was in high school. But then in the 90s, I heard about Sugihara, Chiune Sugihara, who saved
Yes.
the lives of the Jewish people during World War II. He saved over 6,000 lives, risking his life. And he could have been, well, he was in prison. He and his family faced imprisonment. When I read about him, a story just stayed with me. I said, "Oh, that's the connection. That's the connection with Israel and the Jewish people." And then I got into dancing. But I wrote about Sugihara in my book, and I actually wanted to have do the whole book about Sugihara. But I thought, there's so many people, so many books written about him. So I wrote about a lot about the Second World War and the Japanese Americans who fought in that war, against, even though they were serving a country that did not acknowledge them. They had their own separate units. They were considered enemy aliens, but they fought anyway because they were Americans and they wanted to prove their loyalty and help get their parents out of prison because their brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and all of them were. It was not good. So even though it was not good, they made the most of it. And that's what we have to do in life is, when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. And you can always, my mom used to say, there's
Absolutely.
always a way. There was always a way. And they proved themselves that they were loyal citizens and rose from the ashes and became outstanding citizens. That'd be my father's generation. So anyway, I'd like you to speak about how crisis can break you or build your deepest strength.
Yeah, you were just talking about the challenges, and when you almost think that there is no way, and there is always a way. So, and it's mainly this. I've been for over 3 decades in the operation field and also intelligence, and I had a lot of incidents or uh, times that I was, and I'm not talking about this a lot, but I was under fire and I took decisions in seconds that might, change the lives of my team or sometimes teams, and many times hundreds of people. When I grew older, when I became older, and as you grow, the amount of people are also coming with it. So you think that there is no, that there is a limit, but there is no limit. I thought that I'm a hero. I thought that I'm really, yeah, I thought that I'm a Superman that can do everything. But actually, uh, I learned it the hard way. So yeah, challenges can be sometimes very surprising. And when you think that you are doing everything you can, and when you are putting everything within you in your country for your people, f- for your nation, actually, uh, you come home and you see that the home is broken. So then actually you find a different challenge. And these kind of challenges are mainly, I found out that it's not only me, but I found it out only a lot of years later,
Mm.
that in veterans, people that are, having the PTSD. And when I was in Switzerland, actually, I was abroad for work, and I had two major challenges over there. One of them was my small daughter, and that's the family. I came home after 2 weeks that I've been out, not even in the country, in another country. And I came and I felt that something is wrong, because usually when I came home, everybody came, hugging, but no one came except my dog, and I understood that something is wrong. And then I saw that I asked my wife what's going on, and she told me that my small daughter, the youngest one, she is in depression, and then she actually tried to commit suicide 3 times. And I wrote about this in the book. And when I wrote the book, I asked her if I can do it, because it's a challenge that you don't know what to do with. It's a kind of a slap that you get in your face, because you have no idea and what to do, because you can shoot, you can, make covert operations, you can take decisions under fire, but when you come home, when your little daughter is in
Mm.
depression, trying to kill herself, what can you do? So you feel that the end of the world came, but it's a challenge, and it's a challenge that you can uh, meet, and everybody, it's a world with endless challenges. You have to know this, and every challenge has its solution. And
Yes.
we, of course, gave her all the help that she needed until today, by the way, 5 years later, 4.5, and she's much better. And
Mm.
we went step by step, and you know, it's in the book. I'll show the picture, but the picture is with the father with the daughter, not the warrior, and it's even giving me a little bit chilling skin now because first time that I'm even emotional about this. By the way, it's
Mm.
yeah, and she is much better. And
Oh, that's good to
myself,
hear.
I was there in the second year of the COVID. It started, and I was in Switzerland, and then no one did anything. We didn't have
Yeah.
terror. We had different kind of terror. So I had a lot of time without doing a lot. Uh, and then one night I while I was sleeping, I was dreaming about uh, specific event that came to my head, and I was almost breaking the hand of my wife because I held her and I was sweating. And actually, I lived the moment. It was not 1 second or 1 minute. I don't know how long, but it was the whole scenario.
Hmm.
And it brought me back. I saw a lot of bad things in my life. I saw a lot of terrible things, horrific even. But why specifically this? Because I had friends over there. And when I went there, it was I think 2001 or something like this. It was 2000. It was yeah, the times that buses was exploding here, and
Uh-huh.
restaurants was were also every day we had at least two major attacks, and many people died. So we had to go to an operation, and it was already after I was finishing the army. I was already working in the Israeli agency, and I voluntarily went to this operation
Hmm.
because I didn't have to. When you're working, you don't have to. You just do what you do, and actually, it's enough. But I
That's why I
went
think kintsugi is a great metaphor and focus that we're doing on this podcast. It's for post-traumatic leadership and personal growth. And actually, kintsugi is from Japan and is taking broken pieces, putting them together again with gold, and makes it even more beautiful. So we can, you make beauty out of ashes, you make lemonade out of lemons, and
exactly.
sometimes you don't know why things happen, but when you can look at it afterwards, it made you a different person, could have made you stronger. It shows your resilience. You can either roll
Absolutely.
over like I could have done after my accidents. I could have rolled over and say, "Oh, that's the end
Yeah,
of life." But no, I fought back. I fought
you
back.
fought. Yeah, and
Hmm.
I fought as well,
You
and
fought too.
I fought, and you also feel that you don't have like you feel that the end of the world is really there. Like you don't want to, you can't actually, but even if you want, you can't do anything. I was really thinking to close this part in, to close the life. It's because it was so hard. It's like you cannot sleep. I didn't sleep for 1 month. I didn't, I couldn't get even to the shower. I didn't change almost clothes, or my wife was helping me. It's something that you cannot explain. But I can say that you feel like you are not living, let's say, and you cannot sleep. So you are 24. Can you imagine not sleeping 24/7, 1 month?
No,
It's even in our selection days and our process of in my unit, we didn't have, it was 1 week, we didn't have, but 1 month, when I no, no not a lot of people knew about this. It was, I told you, at the COVID time, so even at work, no one, now today it's, after I was retired, so but I didn't want anyone to know about this because I myself didn't understand exactly what is going on.
But now you do.
But what?
Now you
Yeah, but
understand more. Mm-hmm.
now, yes, yeah, I studied first. I will tell. It's the end of the healing, let's say, and it's never ending. By the way, you have to maintain it. But I went out from this in this specific time when my older daughter was coming to me and actually forcing me to go out from the house and start walking, and it was very cold, winter. It was winter time. It was windy, snowy, in Switzerland. So, and we started to run again. I came back to my fitness, and I was running with her, and we reached to 20 kilometers already.
Wow.
And then I felt that I'm already a new person. So it's extreme to be from one point like a piece of nothing, really feeling nothing, feeling empty, and there is no hope when you are in this situation. But I your resilience, your ability to stay disciplined, also,
Mm-hmm.
because it's
This is
very
kind of
important.
like one of your points is leading under pressure. What saved
Yeah.
lives in the field also heals broken spirits in civilian
That's
life.
exactly what helped me
Mm-hmm.
with the healing here, because the resiliency that I had during
And
so many years helped me to heal
mm-hmm.
by myself without any help except me helping myself with positive thinking. And my daughter, she's a very, very strong sign. But for me, when I looked at her, I saw the future and I said, I cannot be like this because I want to be in her
Here
wedding.
for
Now
her.
she's
Yeah.
20 today. So it's and then I started to force myself. I
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of breathing. I did everything, all the spiritual, all the things that we need to do in order to get out of it, and the sport that I was used to it, but it saves me as well, as we talked about under pressure
Yeah.
situations, which I was under pressure most of my life, but not in this kind of situations, but in others. So the limits was very high, and it helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I went out from it, I started to go and study NLP, CBT. I studied and I did the master, and I did it not because of me. I did it to help my daughter. But finally, it it, it didn't help, not me. And I mean, it did. It opened my subconscious, and it's really important to connect with it. Then I wrote the book, and I started to think about million other things except operations. So
That's great.
yeah,
So
but this is it.
yeah,
And
that's
I'm also
amazing.
giving a lot of lectures, and I'm talking about, it's not a lecture, I'm talking to people. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And now look what you have. She's 20 years old. She has her future ahead of her. You're going to be a grandpa
Yeah.
someday, and fun begins.
Yeah.
I always tell people, um,
True fun.
being a grandparent is your reward for being a parent.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
She
work, but
can
when,
take her time,
yeah,
but
yeah,
but
take your
yes,
time, find the right one. So the
exactly.
power of emotional resilience, you certainly have resilience, Ido, and authentic connection in leadership across cultures and borders. So you've kind of explained that. Would you like to zero in on that?
the culture.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
emotional resilience and the connection and leadership across cultures and borders.
yeah. I was actually in serving in 6 countries. I was serving Israel, but in 6 different foreign countries, and it was from east to west. So it was East Europe to West Europe. I was also in the States, and I was also in China or other places. But I was living in Ukraine, in Russia, in Poland, the Netherlands, uh, France, Switzerland, and also in other Scandinavian countries. So I knew a lot of, I've been in so many countries and I knew the culture in each country. And why it's important because you when you live in a foreign country, serving your country, you if you will not learn the not only the language, the culture, the real culture of the people, your connection, interconnection will be low if you will not do it. But if you will, and if you will
Mhm.
be very familiar with the culture, you can understand the other side, and your communication will be very, very good. And when you have this, success is coming because when you communicate well in the same culture, and you're not forcing anyone to learn your culture. When you're a guest, you will learn the culture of the country that hosts you.
Mhm.
Even if you go to other countries to do other things, you learn the culture. You actually have to, by the way, but you need to know it by yourself because it's you understand that if you don't know it, you might fail. But if you know it, you can actually do everything and achieve everything and lead with others, not necessarily your people, uh, with joint targets and operations. And it's beautiful, really. I loved it, you know. And today I see it. I see today that it is very important to understand what's going on in the world, right? Because we see what is happening, and it's important to know the culture. I always write about this. You know, I'm writing articles and I write. If you know the culture, you can understand why a country or a nation does something. Why?
Mhm.
Why it's the most important thing, and then the how. Because if you know the why, you understand, and if it's an enemy or adversary, it depends. But again, if you know it, it's easier for you to understand. For example, I can tell you that the Americans are great with technology. They love technology, for example. Israelis, I can say a lot, but I'll say it's easy to say on the US and Israel. So the US it's technology and and actually business, but I tech and technology. In Israel, it's improvisation. The culture is improvisation. So when okay, I will not get into it, but when we had the war with the I'm not saying the Iran, it's the regime of Iran. We knew the culture, and we knew the culture, and no one believed that the small, tiny Israel will be flying over there like in Tel Aviv and walking over there like in Tel Aviv as well. So the communication between those 2 countries, people, you know, have different kind of uh, perspective about this, but we and the U.S., Israel and U.S., it's not only about the democracies and we are the only democracy in the Middle East. No, it's about the mutual interests and the
Mhm.
understanding that high technology and development. It's very high and a good leverage to the world, not only to Israel or the US.
Well, we've had a wonderful conversation, and I would just kind of like to wrap it up for our guests that are listening to us. And thank you so much, guests and podcast
Thank you.
listeners.
Okay, thank you for
You've
having me.
helped us so much in spreading the samurai way. I really want to thank every one of you. We're almost at 100,000 downloads, and that's just in the
Great.
last few months.
Happy.
So today, Ido talked about kintsugi as a metaphor and all of the brokenness and how it can actually heal a person, and the crisis can break you or build your deepest dreams. And leading under pressure, and boy, does Ido know that, leading under pressure, serving in all those different countries for over 30 years, and the power of emotional resilience. And he had to show that while he was um, in a place where it was not as positive as he is now, and how connections and what's his why, just like Viktor Frankl, he knew his why. His why was being reunited with his family during World War II. And I encourage all of you people to read that book. It's an amazing book, short read, but very powerful. And so what Ito has shared is it just shows across cultures, across borders, that there are a lot of similarities, and we could learn, like Ito says, from a lot of different cultures and understand them. So just wanted to share with you as we wrap up, Ito, about your biggest dream and what you would like people to take away, and then we'll call it a wrap.
Okay, so just to wrap it and to say that the soul connection and the principles and the samurai way and all those beautiful connections of courage and resilience are important not only because we're doing some heroic things, but to live our life in a good and healthy way. That's
Yeah,
my actually, if I can summarize this, this is the way I want to do it.
well, that's beautiful. And we will have in the comments, listening audience, we will have connections to Ito, and you may want to sign up for his newsletter, which he does. It's amazing how he's quite a prolific writer. I only do mine once a week, and then twice a month on the cultural. But he has a lot of information there, and if you're, I know my husband's interested in that type of thing, and it kind of goes um, that strategy is not my connection. It's more the human emotional thing. But I just love connecting with Ito, and we connected through Tara, and we've just become friends.
Yeah,
So just want to thank all of you listeners for listening to this. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, because you never know. I cover a lot of different
yes,
subjects,
you
but
never
they're
know.
all related back to the samurai way, because as one gentleman said, among the pantheon of warriors, the samurai surely is the greatest, and that's Tetsuro Shigematsu from Japan. So thank you so much, and we'll sign off for now. And be sure to listen to the next episode, because we just continue to have wonderful guests and different topics. So that is it. Mata ne. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode, The Samurai Way. I hope you found a little inspiration, a new perspective, or just something to reflect upon as you go about your day. Now remember, the samurai spirit isn't just about history. It's about how you show up, face challenges, and live with purpose. Whether it's Ikigai guiding your path or a little extra Ganbaru pushing you forward, keep walking strong. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share, or leave a review. It really helps. And if you've got some thoughts, questions, or you just want to connect, just contact me. So until next time, stay focused, stay determined, and keep living with purpose. Mata ne.